brand new episode here on 1950's Farm. How are you all doing? Hope you're all having a good day, and your day is going as expected. Not having too bad a day so far, although I have tried to complete one or two tasks, and let's just say I think I should have left it alone. Never mind, we'll sort it out later. So anyway, as you can see, we've moved on a little bit in time now, so we're in October, so September was filled with finishing the grass off, and also as well doing some mucking out of the cows, feeding Harry's cows, watering Harry's cows, and then I don't mean I stood there and sprayed them and drowned them with a hose pipe. I mean put water in the troughs so that they have a drink. And then, it was basically tidying up. It wasn't all that interesting, to be fair. I'd sort of started to record it and then thought, it's a bit dull. It's a bit dull. As I say, it was just kind of up and down the pens and what have you, and just driving around. But yeah, as I say, we're getting off back to the dairy now. So what we're going to do, the plan is today, is that we're going to harvest the soybeans up here, because as you remember, we've got a big field of soybeans to do up here. We need to get this field turned around quite quickly, in terms of I need to get it muck spread and then ploughed, so that we can then get the wheat drilled, because I was rather hoping that the soybeans was going to be ready in September, because then we could have got the wheat drilled in September. As it is, I mean, it's no big issue that. And the other thing I did as well, because you'll notice the money's gone up, is I sold all the wheat, so the silos are now empty, ready for the soybeans, because there's going to be a lot of soybeans off this field. I'm possibly going to have to, over the winter, invest in another 3 silos, because not only have we got a lot of soybeans to put into the silos, we've also got the cornfield as well to do. I know the cornfield's nowhere near as big, but it's still crop, and it's still going to need to go into the silos. So we're going to have to make way and room for that, right? Hopefully, if I can get round the corner. Okay, yeah. Shouldn't be trailing. Oh, we are. Darn it. I'm sure I turned that off. Let's just turn that off. I don't like trailing around this outside, because although having said that, a good advisor for the save has actually told me that I should drive round the edge of the field and not on the outside of the field. I do it this way just because there's room, but apparently this is not how you would do it. You would have, so where the cutter bar is now, that's where the tractor would be, and then you would cut back, come in the other way, and then take all the crop, which makes a lot of sense. And I sort of, well, to be fair, I spoke to Ray about it, and he said that absolutely that's the way you would have done it. He said the reason why I haven't said nothing to you is because you've got room around the outside of your field, so they didn't really see much point in saying anything. That's a little near. Alright, we can now face the other way again, because, well, to be fair, actually. Alright. We've now just got to get these lined up together. once we get them in line. So I went quiet then because I was concentrating. Oh, that's a little bit too near. That's a little bit too near. Move out. You're not moving out. Move out. Or that might be the reason why I'm not pressing the right button. Now try. I usually, you can see why I usually do this off camera, can't you? There we go. Right, I'm in. I'm on. I'm in the right place, is what I mean. Yeah, so, as I say, today's episode, get this done. So, yet again, I've tried to use the video game experience to live stream, but for some reason, it just will not connect to my YouTube channel. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It keeps telling me that in order to log on and connect with my YouTube channel, I need to exit full screen mode. Now, I don't know whether that means in terms of the game or whether that it means in terms of the video experience, but either way, well, I guess you could play this game in window mode, I guess, but in terms of the video experience, you can only view that in full screen. I can't. There's not much I can do about that, so I don't know. I have sort of heard muted around that people are using a software called OBS. I think it's OBS. So I might give that a look and a try. I have to be a little bit careful because obviously I don't, whatever I download mustn't take up too much memory, otherwise I can't record a video. I can't record any videos, so it's a case of, while I am keen to do certainly a harvest, because we could live stream for a couple of 3 hours, and we could really sort of crack on with it, but yeah, I'm just not very technical. I'm just not very good with all that stuff, and I think sometimes you just have to accept your limitations in life. But it's something I really would like to do. Just because I think it would be great for people to see that I really do all of these fields this way, and I do try me very best at the. Oh no! Don't say I've done. I have. Oh, it's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. Never mind. All right, here we go. You have to be on the crawler, don't you? So I've made a mistakey. Mistakes were made. I was sacked. Never mind. Oh dear. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn over to a little bit of time lapse, because if I do less talking I can do more time lapsing, and doing more time lapse means that I can actually get more done. So I'll sort this out, and then we'll come back in and I'll do some time lapse, like I say, because otherwise if I do sort of normally I do about 20 to 25 minutes talking, and then it, with the memory situation on my computer, it then doesn't leave me very much memory left to do time lapsing with. So if I don't do very much talking, and then we can do quite a bit of time lapsing then, and then hopefully you should see a little bit more in terms of farming action rather than me just yabbing on about nothing. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now. And I'm back. Alright, well, actually, to be fair, we've actually got quite a bit done now. I was quite impressed with that. It's going rather well, and doesn't seem to be yielding too bad either. And that, mind you, having said that, I mean, it's not like Farming Simulator yields fluctuate as much as real life, where, you know, any one thing can have a positive or detrimental effect on the amount of yield that you get. But yeah, even so, it's still gonna look quite nice in our bank account once we come to sell it. But yeah, as I say, it's gone really well. What I'll do is tomorrow will be harvest part 2, and then hopefully we should be virtually done by tomorrow's episode, the end of tomorrow's episode. And then what little we have left I'll do off camera, and then when we come back we'll be muck spreading, and then we'll have the ploughing to do. Yeah, it's hopeful that that's what we will achieve. But yeah, it's gone very well. So I got a bit of a, well, I say a bit of a, but that doesn't make sense. I got a phone call yesterday from Kerry, and she called me. She said, James. I said, yes. She said, I'm ploughing. So I said, well done. So she said, no. She said, don't take the mick. She said, I'm not in a very good place at the minute. I said, why, what's the matter? She said, I'm stuck. I said, you're stuck? She said, yeah. So I said, what, as in stuck ploughing, or as in stuck as you don't know what to do? She went, as in stuck ploughing and as in stuck I don't know what to do. So I said, okay. She said, so basically, she said, I'm stuck in the mud. So I said, right. She said, but I don't know what to do, so I'm stuck. So I said, okay. I said, where are you? She goes, I'm not too far from your house. So I said, okay. She said, and I don't really want to call the yard. So I said, all right. I said, I'll come and have a look. So anyway, I went over there, and yeah, she was proper stuck. So she's out of the tractor, and she's sort of walking across the field, and it was on what was stubble land, I think wheat. And because I've got a 4x4, I drove most of the way across the field, because I know I'm not bloody walking that. So I drove most of the way across the field, but I got to the end that was quite wet, and I thought, yeah, I think I'll stay this side. I don't want to end up stuck too. Anyway, I got there, and shit, I don't know what happened. Shit, I was just sort of driving, and then I wasn't. And basically, the far end of the field, which the field in particular that she was in, it's called Lights Field. And the reason it's called Lights Field is because many years ago, long before I was born, so in the 50s, 60s, legend has it that one night all of these lights appeared in this field, right? But whenever you got right close to the field, there was no lights, but apparently they could be seen, and you know, lots of sort of alien type stories have sort of emanate from it. It was God, and it was this, and it was that, and it was, you know, everything sort of thing. So now it's called Lights Field, right, because it was in this particular field. And at the far end of the field, it was as wet as anything down there. Like, if we had any significant rain, which this winter we've had a lot of significant rain, it honestly, it would only ever get ploughed and drilled in the spring, because there was literally no point putting a winter crop on there, because look at that's not concentrating, that isn't. I haven't done that the whole time. Darn it. Yeah, so as I say, there was literally no point putting anything on there in the autumn. For goodness sake, James, get on the bloody crawler, will you? there was, as I say, it would literally become a lake at one end of the field, and it was only because the farm didn't really invest in any type of sort of drainage or anything like that. That was literally the only reason why, that was the way it was. It was because that end of the field wasn't drained properly, but the other end of the field. So what they did, the year that I joined, what they drained half of the field, and it was said that the following year, they would then drain the second half of the field, the worst end of the field, right? Rather than doing the worst end first, which never make. But anyway, you merely work on the farm, drive the machinery. You don't get to make the decisions. But that's, I would have thought that you would, you would do the worst end first, and then, sort of go from there, sort of thing. Anyway, so there was a lake. There was a lake, like sort of, as I say, at the far end of this field, and she'd basically been ploughing, and I said, like, how deep are you ploughing? So she said, I was told to plough at 10 inches. So I said, right. So she said, it is in quite deep. So I said, it is for this field. I said, are you sure, you're in the right field with? I said, because normally with this field, I said, they usually sort of say between 4 and 6, because you don't want to be bringing the wet up. You just want to be sort of bringing, topsoil up, really. And anyway, she said no, that was what they'd said and what have you. So I was like, okay. So she goes, it's coming Tates this year. So I was like, I said, that's a bit of a surprise. I said, for a field that floods, I said, if we get some heavy spring rain, it's going to flood again. So I said, anyway, young lady, I said, how deep's this water? So she said, yeah, it's quite deep. She said, it's, halfway up she's about sort of ankle deep. So I said, it's ankle deep, isn't it? I said, because I said, I'm in my boots, in my work boots. I said, and that's up to my ankle. So she said, yeah. So I said, so what planet are you on that you think you can drive a tractor ploughing at 10 inches through water? And she was like, she goes, it's tracked. It's supposed to go through water. I said, yeah, if it weren't pulling anything in the ground, I said, it probably would just drive straight through that. I said, but you're pulling a plough quite deep. I said, and I bet you've got your subsoil legs on the plough as well, haven't you? So she said, yeah, I have, yeah. So I said, yeah. I said, it was never going to pull through there, love. She goes, well, then it wasn't going to get ploughed, was it? And I was told to plough the field. I said, yeah, well, what I used to do was plough up to where the water, I said, and then sort of back up, I said, or then lift the plough up. I said, and just drive through the water. I said, get to the other end, then drop the plough in again, then plough again. I said, and then what you want to do is that where the water is, drive in the middle of the water back up to the dike. I said, and then plough across into the water. I said, and what you'll do is you'll create a channel, a drain. I said, and as you're just coming along, if you can just keep inching your plough up ever so slightly, so as it makes it a slope, I said, all of that water will drain off. I said, it's not too bad a day today for drying. I said, the sun's out, the wind's out. I said, I said, it probably would have dried off by tonight, and then you could have ploughed it. She said, yeah, but then I would have put a bloody great big, sort of plough hole in the side of the dike. I said, well, it doesn't matter. I said, that will drain the water off. I said, that will fill in and grow back anyway. I said, you don't want to worry about that. I said, she's like, yeah, but then, I'll probably get it in a row. I said, no, you won't get in a row. I said, that's fine. I said, that's what I would have done. And I said, you're going to have to get them up here. I said, because there ain't no way you're getting that out of there. I said, I said, it's gone in near enough that deep. I said that it's pushed your lift out. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if you bent your plough when you lift it up. Anyway, they called her and they bought they bought both 9RXs and the quad track, which I thought was a little bit overkill, but they all sort of rocked up in and around the same time, and so they said to me, they said, were you driving? So I said, of course I wasn't driving. I said, I was here. I said, well, I don't know, I can't remember how long I was there. It was about 7 years I was there. I said, and I never got stuck once in this field. And they went, yeah, no, to be fair, So anyway, and then they started ribbing her. Oh, you can't get bloody girls to do anything right these days, can you? And as I say, but anyway, they managed to get her out. We sort of dug down a bit, 'cause, like, they tried just pulling the whole lot out, because they had I'm guessing probably getting on for about 200, for about 2,000 horsepower in terms of the 3 tractors that was there. And anyway, they were sort of pulling her, and they couldn't do it. So in the end, we dug down a bit, took the plough off, and then pulled to be fair, I think the Fendt tractor would have pretty much pulled itself out once the plough was off, and then we put the plough onto a chain, and then had to get the forklift there, lift the plough up slightly so as we could get it to sort of release the suction, and then once the suction was released, obviously then it came free. And anyway, we put it back onto her Vent, but she'd bent a lift arm on one side. She'd buckled in a couple of what I call breastplates, but like the sort of furrows on the plough. She'd bent a couple of those in, or folded them in, and as I say, she'd also the frame that the wheel fits on a Lemkin plough was sort of pushed up and bent outwards, where the mud had sort of wedged between the plough and the wheel, and it had pushed it outwards. But apart from that, everything was okay. And I think she was a mixture of very upset and very embarrassed. But anyway, we got her out. So she went back to the yard, obviously, with the plough, and then dropped it off, because, as I said before, they've got they did when I was there. I'm assuming this is still the same, but they've got mechanics that are there that just work on the stuff sort of all the time. And she would have put one of the other ploughs on, and then just gone back. And then when she got back to the field, she rang me on her way back to the field, and I went up there and I showed her. I said, this is what I would do. I said, it's not really going to work now, because you've bulldozed it up. I said, because you've obviously got stuck. I said, but what I would have done when I first come in is just ploughed across from the dike into the water. I said, it would have just drained off then. I said, and then I said it would have just it would have gone into the furrow, run down the channel, and then out into the dike. I said, and, it would have dried off then as you carried on ploughing. I said, it would have dried off. I said, because what you could have done was you could have done that and then gone and started the other side of the field, and then worked your way back, sort of thing, to here. I said, and it probably would have been, I said, there certainly wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been very much water there. I don't know about there wouldn't have been no water there, but there wouldn't have been much water there. But bless her, she got stuck with us. It was kind of just sort of happily sort of. I was sat recording, and then they get this phone call, and she's like, I'm stuck. So, but anyway, all was well in the end. That ended well. I don't think she doesn't think, and I don't think she did anything to her crawler. So luckily all was well there, apart from there being a lot of mud wedged in it and everything else. But so, and also as well got to have a little bit of a ride and go in the 9RX, because they didn't have any 9RXs when I worked there. So when I left, that was the year that the 8RX came out, and I demoed one of them for about a month, ploughing, but I didn't really like it, if I'm honest. It wasn't really for me. I've got to be honest, I love my Challenger. It would have taken some machine to have convinced me to go away from my Challenger. An MT775E, and I also had an 875E as well. a bigger one for obviously when we were pulling much bigger equipment. Most of the year round, I was using the 775, just because for the size of tractor, it was a pulling beast, and not too much would ever sort of stand in its way. Like it was a damn fine tractor, and as I say, but when we were on to pulling our 6 metre potato planters, or let's try and think what else I used it for. So I had a big set of I had a 4.5 metre Simba Solo, so that the 875E used to pull that. The 775E on us, if the land was slightly, there was heavy bits in the field, then yeah, it knew about it, and just for ease, I just used to put it on the back of my of the big Challenger, and yeah, no trouble. And I also used to as well pull my my 14 for a plough with it as well, especially as well if we were sort of plough drilling, then or if I was going to a farm that were wanting to plough drill, I would take the bigger Challenger, just again because the pulling power was awesome in it. You got a bigger plough on anyway. Most plough drilling was taking place in the autumn and winter, when farms, whether it was our farm or another farm, was taking sugar beet off the land or potatoes, and then you were literally ploughing behind them and drilling the land straight, as I say, straight behind. So again, the 875E was was definitely needed there. But yeah, that was quite a thingy. If I'd have so in the next couple of weeks, hopefully I should be getting one of them really clever phones, iPhones or something. I should be getting one of them, and we will. I would have been able to have taken some nice pictures then, and then put the pictures up. But as I say, with my basic phone that requires petrol to run, that's how old it is, or paraffin, I should say. It's yeah, I did take some pictures, but they're very grainy and they're very blurry and they're not very good. When I pulled the phone out and started taking some pictures, she goes, "What's that?" And I said, "That's my phone." She went, "That's a phone?" I was like, yes, Kerry, that's a phone. That's my phone. She was like, "Oh dear." She said, "Grandad needs to get with the times." So yeah, anyway, as I say, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I should have one. I'm going to sort it out, and I'm going to go and, as I say, get it sorted out, and then it's going to be really handy because my car's got an inbuilt sat nav, but it hasn't been updated for about, I don't know, 10 years. So when I was driving through a part of Norwich last year, I was driving around the NDR area of Norwich, and according to my sat nav, I was driving through fields, and it was going, "Please find a road, please find a road, please find a road," or words to that effect. It was saying something about get to the nearest road or something, and I was thinking, I'm on a bloody well, it was not a motorway, but a dual carriageway, and I was thinking, I am on a road, but it took me near enough to I can't remember the name of the town, but it's when I hit that town, suddenly it recognised the road again, but it was a much older road. I'd been on sort of new roads up until that point, but yeah, it's quite funny. My sat nav was kind of like, you're driving through a field, so the new phone's going to be used for Google sat nav and directions when I go out, which means I should be able to go out a little bit further afield. Because the biggest problem the biggest hurdle that I find when I go out and when I'm driving is I'm never quite when you get to big, sort of roundabouts and different things like that where there's like 4 or 5 lanes, I'm never quite sure which one I should be in. So to have the phone, which will say, you need to be in the 4th lane. Well, it's counting from the left, so you just count 4 across, and it's like, okay, and then it will say, like, you get halfway round, and then, you need to be, sort of 3rd lane or whatever. It will just help me out a lot. It will give me a lot more confidence, because I'm not a very confident person. And as I say, I'm hoping that it will sort of just give me that bit of extra confidence and a bit of belief that with the phone's help, I can sort of get where I want to be, which would be fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. As you can see, we've got quite a bit done, as I've said earlier, and it's gone very, very well. I think about probably probably tomorrow's episode. I don't think we'll have it quite all done, but we'll certainly have most of it done. But anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. I really enjoyed having your company. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow on tomorrow's video. Remember, these videos drop every day at 3 PM because the algorithm, as I've been sort of doing a course learning the algorithm of YouTube, and it says one of the things you've got to be is consistent. So I'm consistent. Another thing that you've got to be is your channel's got to have an identity. It does farm sim videos, so it's got that. But for whatever reason, the algorithm doesn't seem to still like me. But at least I am doing the things that it's saying that I should do. So hopefully one day it will pick me up and actually sort of spread my videos a little bit further and wider, because as I've said on previous videos and previous series over the last week or so, my views have just dropped unbelievably. I just don't know what's gone on since I've been trying to pander to the algorithm. It seems that my views have gone down a little bit, so I don't know. But anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my video and listen to me talk about farming and other things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.